The rain and hail that soaked Melbourne over the past fortnight has cleared, but now it's the calm before the storm as close to 100,000 people start packing into the Melbourne cricket ground, this vast grey coliseum for the classic Australian football between the Hawks and the Bombers. The players have been arriving for hours. Lee Matthews and his wife, Timmy Watson and his wife, Paul van der Haar, and of course some of the unlucky people in it. Peter Knights, who's out with a leg injury, arrived with his son, and so too did John Kennedy, who arrived on crutches. It's been a very, very disappointing year for those two players, but they're here to urge their teams on. The scalpers have been having a pretty free run. Tickets are advertised $60 to $65. They were being sold for $200 before the rain and hail bombed Melbourne last night. People are enjoying their barbecues in this break in the weather, and the club theme songs for Essendon and Hawthorn are really at the top of the hit parade. The kids are arriving proudly decked out in their club Guernseys, in the red and black of Essendon and the yellow and gold of Hawthorn, their hair brightly dyed and their faces painted. This is really that one great day of the year, that one day in September, and the atmosphere here at the MCG is electric. Well, the team that brought you the 1982 grand final, Rowan Sawyers and Glenn James, are back in action. They're back together for the 1984 grand final between Essendon and Hawthorn. Glenn must be a pretty good team.
Oh yes, Steve, I guess it is. I hope that we can provide the same spectacular affair as we did in '82.
You look pretty laid back. You relaxed, looking forward to it?
Yes, the nerves are starting to build up, of course, as the game gets closer and closer, and everyone's a different game, and I'm starting to feel the pressure as well.
Rowan, I suppose one of the most memorable moments in that 1982 grand final was when the young lady took her clothes off and ran across the ground naked. Was it one of your memories?
Yeah, I do remember that day remember her pretty well, I should say. But she sort of kept going towards Glenn, so I only sort of had a rear view, I guess.
I think it's that charm. Yeah. What about the opening bounce? Who'll do the opening bounce? Who'll toss the coin?
Well, I'll be doing the opening bounce this year, seeing Glenn did it in '82, and Glenn will be tossing the coin.
Did you feel, well, I'll ask you first, Glenn, did you feel that you'd had a good year building up to the grand final? Did you feel it was one of your better years?
Yeah, yes, I did, Stephen. I felt very satisfied this year because I had umpired with a lot of young guys throughout the year, and that gave me a great deal of satisfaction to see that I'd helped them out during the year, and to be rewarded in this fashion, I'm very, very satisfied and very pleased about the whole thing.
And Rowan, did you looking back on the year, do you think that, it was a year that you would have always been a contender for the grand final?
Oh, I think there's a lot of umpires always in contention, Steve, but, I thought I had a good year and sort of just really kept it off, it's fantastic.
Well, you've got a great team. The boundary umpires and the goal umpires are all ready. The trainers have done a good job on you, and all we can say is all the best.
Thanks very much, Steve.
Thanks, Stephen.
And we'll go back to...
And here comes the Hawthorn side, led by captain and 300-game veteran Lee Matthews.
I think this is his 5th grand final he's played in too, Peter.
Yes, he played in the Hawthorn successful grand final side against St Kilda in 1971. He was there in 76, 78, last year, and again in 84.
Bob, I think if you were picking a side, the best Victorian side you could possibly pick to win a premiership,
Essendon chasing success of 84, which has eluded them since 1965.
I think we should give full marks to the young kids in the cheer squad because they've done a marvellous job of these banners, Bob.
They do a wonderful job, don't they, Lou? They add colour to the work that goes into those banners for 1 second of action, really, because that's how long it takes those players to get through there. Sometimes they have a bit of trouble getting through.
There's been a cloud over the Essendon side, 3 players in particular. Paul van der Haar.
What would nerves be doing to the players now? You've been out here in a grand final in front of a huge crowd. How would they be feeling?
I went 120,000 in 1970. I know exactly how they feel, Graham. Many of these players would have had sleepless nights, of course, and they would just be dying for this national anthem to be over to get on with the action.
Would any of them have slept over the last couple of nights, do you think, especially the younger players?
I think it'll be a lot harder on the younger players, Graham. The older players have been through it before. They'd still have those that tingly feeling right through their body.
Of the grand final.
Certainly is, and of course I think Bob mentioned during the summing up there of the players, because that's a fantastic start to Hawthorn today. Bombers to go into attack as we see Merritt take that mark out there at half forward. Well, they're looking a little bit better, Essendon. They're a bit shell-shocked.
Well, that was going on, Lou. Bradbury off, Dunnell on.
Danaher away from Mew, and it's grabbed by and there'll be a throw in from,
But it's to Hawthorn.
well, they're wasting a few opportunities after playing so well to get the ball. This brings Watson up to the wing position, and the Bombers.
Because I think their morale knew exactly where that ball was going.
3 goals to Matthews, 2 to Robertson, the leading goal kickers for Hawthorn. A little bit further around. That's pretty tough. Straight to Fold. Scooped out by Hurd. There's Meagle. Harvey caught.
Backline, Hurd and DP at a minute ago. Hurd goes down, picked up by Williams. Well, and that's what the Bombers
Far forward, Mew and Danaher. It's a wrestle. They're getting everything now. There's Watson up the centre wing. This guy's played well since he came back on to Bradbury.
Their coach, and there they are. There's the coach of Essendon, Kevin Sheedy, receiving congratulations from all around. But what a performance! He shifted. Alan Jeans, the losing coach, looking very sad.
Well, the Hawthorn boys on the receiving end this year. They won it last year by a record margin, but they fell in a heap in the final term this year, and it was, of course, Essendon's flag. Let's go back to Stephen.
With me, I've got the coach, Kevin Sheedy, surrounded in well wishes. Kev, lots of moves, lots of desperation in the last half.
Yes, well, you know, I felt that we would be right to peak. We got off to a bad start, which was very disappointing, but, you know, as I'd said during the week, I thought that our players had improved throughout the year, and I thought the last couple of finals games would have done them really good.
9 goals in the last quarter after the early start.
I wouldn't know what they kicked in the last quarter. I just wanted to keep kicking them.
Simon Madden on the bench earlier, put him on. He sort of burst in there, and Billy Duckworth did a magic job all day.
Yeah, Duckworth has been a great player. I mean, that's one of the areas where I was hoping to have Steve Carey, so I could have had Duckworth up forward earlier.
Kev, the glory's all yours. Go and enjoy it.
Oh, right, thanks. Now let the players have it.
Kevin Sheedy put in when everything looked down.
Oh, yeah, we knew this had to keep plugging away and our ball would come our way, and then it did. Oh, it's unbelievable.
Go and join in.
I bloody will.
Scales, and they are the Premier team, and it's now my great honour and pleasure to ask the team to come forward for the presentation of the commemorative medals and the Premiership Cup.
Thank you, sir, Your Excellency. Now, ladies and gentlemen.
See the Bombers fly up, up to win the premiership flag. Our boys who play this grand old game are always striving for glory and fame. See the Bombers fly up, up. We are the teams they don't fear. They all try their best, but they can't get near as the Bombers fly up. See the bombers fly up, up. We are the teams they don't fear.
Boys, they've both got P plates on their car. Tonight they stand for premierships. Mark Harvey and Paul Salmon. Mark played and Paul put down the great foundation for the club early in the season. And what about the big fella next year?
Well, you know, he was part of it. And he feels a bit out of it at the moment, but you know, he's part of it. He just feels.
Well, Paul, must have been very, very heart-rending to watch all the boys get the medals, knowing how much you'd put in, the 63 goals in the 13 games, and knowing that you'd have to spend half the season on the sidelines.
It is very hard, but you know, you don't feel a real part of it until you're not played. But
we were pretty much poleaxed by then. We were well down the track, and unbeknownst to us, we thought we were rather articulate and in pretty good company. And it turns out we were mumbling our words and staggering around the place, and we were only too happy to accommodate anyone who wanted an interview and stuff, because we just remember being just in a euphoric frame of mind.